Welcome to the Unstoppable Product Pioneer Podcast, where we bring product and UX managers, designers, business executives, and strategists together to unlock the power of strategic alignment. I'm Tamar Stolz, and I am on a mission to empower you to drive meaningful, measurable, and impactful outcomes by aligning business and product strategies. In each episode, I sit down with industry experts who share their experiences, failures, and wins, giving you the insights and tools you need to ensure your alignment drives real business results. It's time to own your expertise, step into your power, and become unstoppable. Okay, welcome to the Unstoppable Product Pioneer Podcast. My name is Tamar Stolz, and I'm super excited to be taking this journey with you on this new podcast. So before we launch our first episode, I wanted to just come on here, say hello, introduce myself, and tell you a little bit about who I am, why I'm doing this, and what my hopes and goals are for this amazing podcast that kind of studied itself, which you'll hear about in the first episode. So first, I want to talk about a little bit about my journey, how I got here, what I do, why I do what I do, why I love what I do. Okay, so first and foremost, the credit, I shouldn't say all the credit, but a lot of the credit that I give to who I am and how I got here is to my incredible father. My father, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My father had a successful business in the tech space, and he just he is an unbelievable leader. He did sell his business a few years ago, which is why I'm talking in past tense, but watching my father run, build, structure, and have a successful business, not just successful financially, successful in creating a workplace culture that everyone was just like one big family. And so growing up and really just watching him and learning from and absorbing and being in that kind of environment really, truly influenced and impacted who I am today and how I operate and approach and my mindset to business in general. So like my father, I definitely always had a love for and excitement when it came to business strategy, business in general, leadership. I always had skills in technology. I always enjoyed playing with and using technology, but I always had a passion for working with other people and using my creative problem solving skills to enhance the lives of others. And so I wanted to find a career that would blend both my passion and my skill, my passion for working with others. I'm a people person, so I love to work with others. I love to do creative problem solving. I love to be innovative and use my mind in that kind of way. But I also really enjoy working with technology. And so I ended up finding UX design as a career, and I really enjoyed starting out as a UX designer. I enjoyed the discovery side of things and empathizing with users and using my creative problem solving skills to enhance the user's experience and interaction with the technology that they were using. But after a little while, I realized that there was something missing, and that was the opportunity to work more with the business strategy. And I did a little research and I realized, maybe I should get a certification in product design, because as a product designer, maybe I'll have more opportunities to tap into and engage with internal stakeholders and get an opportunity to understand the business strategy and bigger picture, of what it is that we're trying to accomplish within the company at large. So I got a certification in product design, and I realized that not much really changed. And I started to get a little frustrated because as an individual contributor on the product team and as a UX designer, I wanted to know that the work that I was doing was helping drive success towards the company. I wanted to know, how was the work that I was doing fitting into the bigger picture and moving the needle for my company? And it was really important to me to feel that I was a valuable asset, not only to my team, but to the company at large. And so I wanted to know that every night when I went to sleep, I contributed and I provided value to help, drive the company towards success. And I wasn't feeling like that. And so as I was hitting these walls where I felt like I'm just scratching the surface, like I don't understand how my designs are fitting into the bigger picture. And I started asking questions like, how are my designs that I'm doing, make this a little taller. How are the designs that I'm doing affect the business objective goals for the coming quarter? And honestly, those questions didn't always get answered. And it really started to bother me. It made me very frustrated. Um, I just, I didn't feel like I was confident that the work that I was doing was valuable and was contributing to something bigger than just my immediate tasks. And so that was something that really was very frustrating. Another thing that I realized that was very frustrating, that which is something that I have now learned that many designers feel this way, but it took me a few years to realize that it wasn't just me being crazy, that this is actually something that a lot of designers encounter, which is that I had the opportunity as a product designer to work with our clients, our end users, our customers, and get to know what their frustrations were and what their pain points were, and where we had opportunity to improve on our technology to meet those customer needs. Now, I also had the opportunity sometimes to get some insights into what our business strategy was. And when I looked at our business strategy and I understood, okay, so as a business, these are the goals. Here are the KPIs. This is, customer retention, ROI, this language, right? The language of the business strategist and the leadership team. And I had a little bit of an understanding for this is where we're trying to head, these are the goals that we're trying to accomplish as a company. This is the direction that we're hoping to head in. But then I would hear from our users what their frustrations were and what their pain points were, and that their needs really weren't being met. I was so, I was honestly, it was a little shocking to me because here I am thinking, okay, I'm just a product designer here, right? But what I'm seeing is a tremendous disconnect. We've got the business strategy and leadership saying that we want to increase customer retention and user satisfaction scores by X, Y, and Z. But I'm talking to our users, and we're not going to be able to accomplish, those KPIs and seeing ROI for those business objective goals. There's no way that they're coming from what I'm hearing from our users' challenges and frustrations, and they're especially not going to come through the tasks that I'm being given as a product designer. And so I realized very quickly that there was a huge gap between the alignment of our business strategy and our product strategy. And so it was surprising. Honestly, I was shocked that this wasn't something that just came like as a basic, like, of course there's strategic alignment. If we have the business strategists who have the vision for the company, right? And they're saying that is what we are heading for, right? Like my father one time gave me an example. He said, as the business strategist, I see a mountain, right? We want to go take over that mountain. We want to capture it, right? And so we talk to our group, to our team, and we say, we're going to capture that mountain. Okay. Now, product manager, product strategist, CTO, whoever it is in your company, right? This is the general guide for what it is that we're trying to do. Now, you use your expertise and you go figure out how we're going to conquer that mountain. How are we going to get there? What's the fastest way? What's the best way? What do we need to get there? How are we, right? All that strategy. But ultimately, of course, there's strategic alignment between the business strategy and the product strategy, because ultimately the product strategy and what the product team is going to execute on ultimately is what has to deliver the results for the business strategy. And somehow that wasn't happening at all. And not only was it shocking, but it was very, very upsetting, because not only did I want to know that I could check the box in terms of providing value to my team, right? As a product designer, my product manager needed designs. That's what my product manager needed. So if I could deliver beautiful designs, then I technically delivered on and completed my job. But knowing that the designs that I was doing had no connection to and absolutely did not strategically align with business strategy, I was really, really frustrated. And so at that point, I realized that I was going to start a journey of really digging deep into how was I going to figure out a way to encourage, to empower, to motivate, and to ultimately implement strategic alignment between the business strategy and the product strategy. Another thing that I realized very early on was that designers, like including myself, I was speaking design language. So I was saying things like, design methodology, user-centric solutions, but this language, as valuable as it is, pretty much meant nothing and did not resonate with the leadership team at all. And I realized that there were so many opportunities being missed just because I didn't know how to communicate. If I understood that when I sat down with leadership and I said, customer retention scores, user satisfaction scores, let's discuss those, right? Here's what I'm seeing as a product designer. Here's what I'm hearing from our users, but here's what you're saying as business strategy, right? If I could talk in a language that resonated with them, that would give them actionable next steps to implement on because they understood what it was that I was saying. And I gave them the opportunity to act on and make changes that would have a positive impact on the company. I realized that there was so much value that I could provide if I knew the right way to communicate it. And so I realized that this was going to become my new mission. I was going to figure out a way to just encourage and empower and motivate and increase awareness of this critical importance, like something that should be so basic, but something that just isn't discussed, isn't happening, isn't talked. Like it's mind-boggling to me how many designers, managers, leadership strategists, how many people I have talked to about this topic of this gap, of bridging this gap between business strategy and product strategy. It is mind-boggling to me how many people nod their heads and say, yes, this is a topic that is brushed under the rug. This is a huge problem. There is a huge need for discussion around this topic, for tools and for resources for our managers and designers to be able to communicate these ideas in a clear, structured format. And so I realized, okay, like this is going to become the topic that I am obsessed with, and I'm going to do whatever I possibly can to increase awareness and to provide resources and frameworks and coaching, whatever it takes to help the designers out there, to help the managers out there, to help the leadership teams out there have more successful collaboration and strategic alignment, and to break this departments working in silos and not having cross-team communication and collaboration. I can't talk about it enough. I can't stress it enough. It's something that I'm just overly passionate about, overly obsessed with, and just I want to see success for companies, and I want to see from a bird's eye view the bigger picture. I want to see that everyone understands where they come in, what role they're playing, and how the deliverables that they're giving to their teams, to their managers, how those are fitting into the bigger picture and moving the needle and creating successful outcomes and driving success for their companies. I want to see everyone coming to work happy, excited, motivated, encouraged. And so whatever it takes to be able to do that, that has become my mission. Now, we're introducing a new podcast. What is this podcast? How did it come to be? Well, how did it come to be? You're going to have to listen to the first episode because it's an awesome, awesome story. And I'm going to leave it to the first episode because the guest on our first episode is the one who ultimately is the idea behind this podcast. And this podcast, I feel like kind of started itself. It's a really awesome story. But my hope for this podcast and for those of you who are watching and listening is that we can come out with actionable, implementable ideas, frameworks, resources, increased awareness, ways to communicate, whatever it is that you are struggling with. If you are on a product team or you're on a UX team, this podcast is specifically going to be tailored to companies that are in the SaaS industry. And each week we're going to explore different topics and ideas within strategic alignment, business strategy, product strategy, UX strategy. And the goal is that each week we're going to have a different guest come onto the show, a guest who is somehow fits into the bigger picture of business, design, product management strategy. And each guest is going to offer not only their story, their experiences, and share real world, experiences that they've had, stories that they've heard, and tools and successes and challenges and failures, because we all have failures, right? And just explore this idea and this concept and this importance of strategic alignment. And I'm super excited to be able to have the opportunity and the honor, really, to have some incredible guests who will share with us insights and share their knowledge and ideas and just talk to us about how we can feel more motivated, more empowered, and practically what we can do to help increase the awareness, to help implement, and to help execute on strategic alignment within our companies. In terms of the framework and the structure of the podcast, so each podcast is about 35 to 40 minutes. It's going to be a weekly podcast released on Saturday nights. And my number one goal is that everyone walk away with something actionable. Each guest is going to provide us with something actionable to walk away with. So this is a podcast that's not just talk and fluff. This is authentic, real, genuine, like the real deal stuff. This is down to earth. Say it as it is. There's no more fluff anymore. We're saying this as it is. Strategic alignment is not an option. In order for businesses to be successful, in order for product teams to be successful, there has to be an alignment. We have to be strategically aligned, and we need to talk about it until we are blue in the face. And we need to do it properly. We need to do it strategically. It's strategic alignment. We got to be strategic about this. This is not about, putting yourself in a position where you're going to lose your job because you did something that was not smart. We're going to do this in a smart, respectful, authentic, genuine, real way and stay true to our core values and make some serious impact. So if you're ready to go beyond your day-to-day tasks and just make some serious, real impact, then hit subscribe on this podcast. I'm super excited. We're going to dive into this together, and we are really going to transform the way that we approach business and product strategy, one conversation at a time. So tune in. Podcast is going to be on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, and I'll share the links with everyone down below. Please share it with anyone that you think could benefit from it. Again, it's going to be tailored more to people in the SaaS industry, but I believe that for sure the speakers and the videos that we have already prepared months and months in advance now, ready for to be published. Really, I feel like anyone can benefit from it. But it will be tailored to strategic alignment within the SaaS industry, business and product strategy, UX strategy, all the amazing, fun, good things. So I'm super excited to be taking this journey with you. I am someone that is always thirsty for execution, to learn, to improve, to grow, to become better. So I'm super honored to be able to have the opportunity to be your host. And I'm excited to hear from all of you listeners and viewers, watchers, subscribers. I would love to hear. Tell me what you're learning. Tell me what you've done. Tell me what you've done that's worked. Tell me what you've tried to do that hasn't worked. Make sure also to reach out to the guests that come on to the show. In each show, we're going to provide contact information for how to be in touch with each guest. And please reach out to them. Let them know that you heard their podcast. And, be sure to show your appreciation and your gratitude. And I could not be more excited. There is no better time to raise awareness for this, because we're at a time in the world that we need to just be upfront, be honest, say things as they are, and increase this incredible. I can't even say incredibly important, because to me it's a given, but it's not a given. It's not a given because it's something that way too many companies are struggling with. So we are going to do this. We're going to increase collaboration. And if this is a topic that resonates with you, that you're also passionate about and excited about, please reach out to me. If this is something that you would like to discuss further, if this is something that you would like to learn more about, please reach out to me. I would love to be able to provide any resources, frameworks, coaching sessions, or anything else that can be helpful for you and for your team. And I cannot wait to see all the successes that come out from this podcast. I'm super excited. Tune in, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the first podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode gave you a fresh perspective and some actionable steps towards aligning your product strategy with your business goals. Remember, you have the power to drive real change in your team and organization. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find the show and supports us in bringing you valuable content. And don't forget, alignment isn't just a buzzword, it's a journey that we're all on together. So until next time, keep pushing for impact and making a difference.